Hi, my name's Steve Martile. 80% of humanity is asleep. How do we wake them up? Okay, so in this video, I'm going to talk about the difference between what I mean by people who are asleep, people who are awake, the difference, how I'm viewing the world at this point in time. It can change. It's changing very quickly. And I'll even talk about examples of my own family, how I'm dealing with this myself, and how we're waking people up. So first, I want to explain what I mean by a person who's awake and a person who's asleep. Then I want to explain how I'm seeing the world at this point in time, and things are changing all the time, okay? And then I want to explain how we can wake people up and how we can do it in our own way, okay? And it doesn't mean you have to be a YouTuber to do it, okay? Or you don't even have to be a TikTok channel or anything. You don't even have to be on social media necessarily, okay? This is going to be different from a lot of the videos that you've seen from me, but I felt like it was needed, and I feel like people are asking the right questions, and now's the right time to share it. Okay, so I'm going to get right into this. So first of all, what do I mean by 80% of humanity is asleep? So that's an arbitrary number. I don't know if it's 80%. It's just a guess. You know, I'm speculating based on what I've seen and the information I'm getting, right? Which is also filtered. I get that. However, if you're awake, here's what I do know. You're asking a lot of questions. You're thinking for yourself. You're doing your own research. Like that's like a big one. Like people, I don't research things anymore. So you do your own research and you're being responsible in a way that allows you to be self-reliant and independent from any other system, government, banking, whatever. You're independent. And you have a high discernment for the truth. How else do I explain that? Is that you see the truth before a lot of people see the truth. Okay? If you have a high discernment for the truth, that's what I mean by that. That's the definition of that. A person who is also awake is more we, right? It's about everyone versus me. Okay? So it's more we. And when I say that, I don't just mean like one time out of the month. I mean like day to day, your actions, your behaviors, your compassion for other people and humanity is more your focus than me and what you're getting out of it. Okay? That's important. That's an awake person. And your actions are coming from the heart. That's how this whole thing works. That's how the whole magnetism, the mechanics of this thing works. Now, if you're asleep, okay, and if you're watching this, I'd be surprised, but there might be some people who are asleep watching this. You're doing what you're told to do, okay? You're doing what the government's telling you to do. You're doing what you're told to do. Your thinking is mass thinking. You're thinking what everyone else is thinking, okay? Because you're being told what to do through mass media, social media, the big platforms. You're not researching things. You may do 5 minutes of research, but you don't get like 5 or 6 credible sources to validate what you believe to be true, okay? And because of that, you might be doing some research, but if someone gives you information that counters what you're finding, you then just ignore it completely. You're completely blind to it, okay? And you're becoming a slave to a system that you don't realize is going to enslave you. And it has for thousands of years, for most of humanity. And it's more about me than it's about we. Your day-to-day, your moment-to-moment is more about me, and you talk a lot about you and I as opposed to we. Okay, so you're in a more, let's just say, self-sustaining role. You're more in a survival mode. Okay, that's the people who are asleep, and your actions are based out of fear and anxiety, where those bottom chakras that I've talked a lot about. Okay, if you want to know more about how to release that fear and anxiety, go to my quantum manifestation playlist. Okay, I got a whole playlist, like 20 some videos, if not more, on how tips and ideas and strategies, practical things you can do, because those are the things that sleep people do. They're coming from fear and anxiety, which is those lower three, one of those lower three energy centers in the body that causes all your behavior. Okay, now let me talk through my model here. Let me just explain what I'm talking about here. So this is how I see the world in this point of view. I'm not saying that this is the only way to see the world. I'm just like saying this is how I see it. If you don't agree with me, let me know in the comments. But this is not about you. I'm not looking for people to agree with me. I'm just trying to share my view on how I see the world at this point in time. Okay? So there's kind of like 3 groups of people. There are 20% who are fully asleep, meaning, I'll give you an example. I have someone in my family who does not want to be around me because I haven't got the jab. And I'm like, I'm never getting it. So I don't know if I see them next year, the year after, I'm not planning to get it. That is someone who I would say is fully asleep. There's like 1,001 reasons why I will say that's true, because in the short, do your research, okay? Because I'm not a medical expert, but I did my own research and I realized like, oh, there's such a thing as natural immunity and I feel safe. So why doesn't that person? And that's what I want to talk about. This is the mainstream narrative in this spell. And someone in one of my TikTok comments on one of my videos said, what's this spell you talking about? What spell? And I'm like, if you don't know what spell I'm talking about, you're under the spell. Okay, and I hope maybe watching this video will give you some sort of insight. Now, I can share links to other information that I have found credible to get statistical, logical information that proves that, I'm just as safe as the other person if I don't get this, right? So that's someone who I would say is fully asleep. Because if they don't realize by now at this point that you can be safe from having full immunity by just being healthy and using just some supplements and some basic foods to stay healthy, then I don't know what else to tell you. And those are not the people that you need to talk to, by the way, to get the 80% of humanity is asleep awake. I'm going to talk to about more how we do that, okay? So I'm not here to start an argument with anyone or attack anyone. I'm just saying that I feel healthy doing what I'm doing, and I'm never planning to get that guy, okay? So that's the 20% that are fully asleep. And remember, each one of these people is on a frequency timeline, okay? 60% of people, again, these numbers are arbitrary, but just what I believe right now at this point in time, 60% of people are feeling something's not right. They're at that point where they're like, this doesn't make sense anymore. The world's going crazy. And I want to know more why. And that's good because you're asking questions, which is what a fully awake person does, okay? And 20% are fully awake, okay? Again, this is just my percentages. And remember that each one of these people, these groups of people, are frequencies. In other words, there's timelines for each one of these types of people. And what I can tell you is Earth 2.0, under my understanding, is people that are fully awake going into 5D, okay? So I'm just giving an arbitrary number of, there's 20% of the people that are awake on the planet, they're at 5 hertz frequency. There's 60% feel like, something's not right, they're at 3 hertz, and then there's fully asleep group that's at 2.9 hertz. They're just different frequencies and vibrations energetically and timelines that are projecting for these different groups of people, okay? What I can tell you is that from what I'm seeing and the people I'm talking, the communities that I'm surrounded by with now, is that Earth 2.0 is going in this direction, which means you're fully prosperous and you're fully sovereign, meaning there's no slave system. We're not on a slave planet anymore. It's Earth 2.0. Okay, we're finally getting out of it this time, right now. Now, here's the other thing that I wanted to bring up. The people that are in this group are this 80%. They're getting this mainstream narrative, and this is what I'm calling the spell. And what I mean by as a spell is that they're getting information and not questioning it. They're not doing any critical thinking. They're not asking any questions. And if you don't ask any questions, which is what I started doing at the very beginning of this whole craziness that, you know what I'm talking about, started, I started asking lots of questions. And there was a lot of resistance to the information I was finding that was proving that there's something else going on here than what the mainstream narrative, the spell you've been told, is telling you. So now we're at a point where 60% of people that have been getting this mainstream narrative, when I say mainstream, it's the big social platforms, the big commercial networks, and the big television networks are giving this narrative, this spell. They're literally programming you into a certain belief and mass formation. And I get it. They were very smart about how they did this because they got a massive, massive number of people, the majority, to agree to go into this state of mass formation where now I'm part of this community because I'm protecting other people because I'm getting this. But really you did that one thing and then now you're protecting other people where now I don't need it and I'm also protected. But I'm castrated and in a different group of people and separated, which is what the mainstream narrative wants to do. It wants to create discourse. It wants to create war, conflict, and separation of people. That's what they do. That's what this narrative, that's what the spell is. It's entirely designed to do that, to create division, okay? What I'm saying is, there's a way for us to wake these people up without being forceful, without using physical force, without doing anything in any negative state at all. In fact, it's very simple to do. So how do we wake people up? So first, I just want to say this because I've seen this on social media. You're not going to attack these people. So first off, you got to talk to the right people, okay? And the right people is, you want to talk to the people that are like, something's not right, because they're the most open to getting more information. These people are fully asleep. Don't even bother. You're wasting your time, okay? They've already bought into the narrative, and they will take it to their grave if that's what they need to do. But these people that are like, something's not quite right, those are the people that are open, okay? But the first thing is, when you're seeing people like saying, responding to stuff on social media or text, and giving you sort of like, that's bullshit, and I can't believe you're thinking that, and I can't believe that's what you believe, which is what I got from my parents when I first started having the conversations about this earlier this year, is that this mainstream narrative was so deeply embedded that people didn't really look at the facts. They didn't actually go beyond the research that was being provided from mainstream media, which a lot of it was actually fake news to begin with. So you got to use your own discernment, and you got to be in the heart, because that's how you find the truth. If you're still afraid and you still have anxiety, it's a lot more difficult to find the truth, because you're in a state of fear, and fear distorts your perception. Your emotions distort your perceptions. It distorts what you see, hear, feel, and experience. Okay? So it's really, and the thoughts you think. So it's really important that you're in the heart when you do this process. So why do I bring up this thing about, number one, just focus on people that feel that something's not quite right. Don't worry about these people. We're not sure what's going to happen to these people. But these people, there's a chance that they're going to make it to Earth 2.0, which I'm calling a fully prosperous, sovereign society where everyone's free, not just like first world countries, third world countries. They're no more enslaved to their government, to the systems. It's very exciting times. It's very exciting to see like places that are third world countries are going to become free. Okay, so don't attack people that are not in agreement with your belief system. What you want to do is, because when you attack them, what it does is, like, if they're trying to open up to you and you attack them, then you're no better to them. You're back in their timeline. You're back in their frequency. You're basically joining them in this frequency of, because think about it, the people that were getting this guy, right, when they were getting it, oh, I'm going to protect so many people because I'm getting this thing. They were like part of this community. And when they were part of that community, they were like, well, you didn't get it. So they were sort of like attacking you and saying, hey, you're a threat now. So if you share some information, some truth-seeking information, some real information that's the truth to these people, and they don't respond the way that you expect, it could be friends, family members, whoever it is, don't attack them, because now you're no better than them, and now you're joining them in their frequency and their timeline. But we're over here. So what do you want to do? Instead of attacking them verbally, physically, emotionally, what you want to do is you want to send them love and light. You want to send them love and light, and you want to think of them from a stance of love and light. Like, I'm just sending them love and light. I'm just sending them love and light. And then think how you want to respond to them. And when you come from that state of love and light, your response is going to be very much different, because you're going to have compassion for them. Okay? And so when I say that you talk to the 60%, you talk to the people who will listen. These are usually the people who will listen. These people that you're already probably listening to, they already know everything you know and understand where we're going. But the people that are not, there's something quite not right, they're ready to be awakened. And there's a massive awakening happening right now. So there's a massive opportunity. Every one of us talks to people, right? Doesn't matter if it's text message, the phone, or Zoom, or you talk to people in person. There's an opportunity, right? So it's not about shoving information down people's throat. It's just like throw out ideas. So for example, if you realize how quickly people are changing right now, you'll realize that, I'll give you my example. So like some of the people in my family, like 6 months ago, if I would talked about this stuff, they would have been like, there's no agenda, there's no crazy stuff going on, life's good. They were just in this, big thing where the planet's, going through this disease. And it's like, now we have the conversations. They're like, yeah, something's quite not right. They're more open to the information. So people are changing. So what I'm saying is check in with the people that you used to think were asleep. Are they awake? Check. Throw them out some information. Just test. Like just throw something out. Throw out a piece of information that you know. Not something like totally like to the left, but something that would be, not necessarily mainstream narrative, not part of the spell, but something that you believe to be true, and just see, is that where they're at? And if they are, you'd be like, oh, that opens the conversation up to have a bigger discussion, okay? And have compassion for these people. Like, don't attack these people, have compassion for them. Why do I say that? If you were reincarnated on this planet, you reincarnated 100 times on planet Earth, okay, over the last, let's say, 2,000 years, 10,000 years, you kept reincarnating 100 times. You've never left the planet. All you've known is this is a prison planet. Governments, kings, they've always controlled, the crown has always controlled stuff. They tax the hell out of you, and they've never allowed people to be sovereign, true sovereigns. Okay? And because of that, how would you know that there is this Earth 2.0, that there's like a whole new way of being? You wouldn't know. On your case, though, if you're fully awake and you're watching this and you're like, this is interesting. I'm actually one of these people that Steve's talking about that's fully awake. Well, maybe you reincarnated from a planet that was actually a sovereign planet, and you've come here to wake up other people. If that's you, then you know your mission now. Now you're here to do it, okay? Because you know what it's like to live on a planet that's peaceful and prosperous, and you're here now to show the rest of these people how to do it. Because they're so out of touch with what a peaceful and prosperous planet is that they have no idea what that would look like. But you do, and that's our job to bring that vision of Earth 2.0 to everyone else. Okay? So have compassion, talk to the 60%, send them love and light, be helpful, share information with people who will listen, check in with them. Have they changed? A couple weeks go by, and now all of a sudden they're open. There's a lot of people changing right now, okay? They're opening up to this idea that something deeper is going on than what we've been told in this mainstream narrative, the spell. And because of that, people are changing so quickly, they're now maybe open to having a conversation that they wouldn't 6 months ago. That's how fast people are changing, okay? And like I said, have compassion for them. If they've been here 100 times, came back, different bodies, different roles, but every time on this planet, they don't have much of a role model of what it's like to be on a peaceful and prosperous planet. But you might, because you have that perspective, because you reincarnated from a planet that's not Earth 1.0. Okay? I hope you found that useful and helpful. If you still feel that it's like this anxiety, this fear is still controlling you, and you haven't been able to fully let it go so that you can live in the heart, Two options. One is go to my quantum manifestation playlist. You just go to my channel, go to playlists, you'll see it there. There's 20 some videos there. You can learn a lot from watching those videos. And then in those videos, I have links out to my calendar. If you'd like help, my help to help you release those stored blocked energy centers that are below in the lower abdomen. Those three actually. There's three like in the lower. There's your stomach. There's one just in the solar plexus. You go a little bit lower, there's creative center, and then there's the root chakra, which is the bottom of the spine. Those three are usually where the stored energy and anxiety from fears gets held and is blocking the heart from fully expressing its potential. Okay, so your body is a tool that you can use to express your heart energy, but if it's blocked, because of a lot of the stuff that's been happening on Earth 1.0, then like the food you eat, the people you're around, all sorts of things, the environment, then what happens is it blocks it up. And so I've been working with people to help them clear that, because I know that if they're clear, they're going to be able to wake more people up. And the more people that wake up, the faster we can move to Earth 2.0. Okay? So there's a link to my calendar if you'd like to talk to me about that, about clearing those energy blocks, and I'll let you know if I can help you, okay? If you want a copy or of my book that's coming out and you want to get in the waiting list, I should say get in the waiting list for the book, 7-Day Manifestation Experiment, How You Create Your World, there's a link down below. You can subscribe, and I will send you one email a week with a new video on my quantum manifestation training series. If you like this video, please give me some love, and if you haven't heard this anything on my channel before, please subscribe. Awesome. Thanks for watching. My name's Steve, and we'll talk to you next time.